Hi everyone. Sorry I'm here a little bit later than promised. I have been taken on a bit of a wild journey by my sat nav in an effort to avoid traffic in High Garrett. I thought, oh no, I'll use my sat nav, which will take me around the traffic, and it did, but it took me a very scenic route, so I'm a little bit late. So sorry about that. And also, I know a lot of you are waiting to hear from me, waiting for me to respond to your messages. Not only has it been a day of traffic, it's been a day of bad Wi-Fi at the clinic. I've been at the clinic all morning and have had just no Wi-Fi. So I'll be responding to all your messages later on. So I'm here today to talk you through how to get better sleep so that you are optimizing your fat burning. Now, something that a lot of people don't realize is that if you are sleep deprived, you are not going to be burning fat as efficiently as you would if you weren't sleep deprived. When you're in a sleep deprived state, which by the way is anything less than 7 hours of uninterrupted sleep per night, when you're in that sleep deprived state, there's a lot of changes that happen to your body. So I'm going to talk you through that, and then I'm going to talk you through my favorite tips for getting better sleep. So some of these might be things you've heard before. I think there's going to be a couple that you haven't heard before. So stick around and let me know what your favorite sleep tips are as well. And let me know if you've got any questions in the comments too. So when you're sleep deprived, your body goes through quite a lot of changes, and one of the biggest one that impacts weight burning, fat burning and metabolism is your stress hormones. So when you're sleep deprived, even if you're not stressed, your stress hormones will be elevated because sleep deprivation is a form of stress. Now remember that I said that anything less than 7 hours uninterrupted sleep is sleep deprivation. So that's probably most of us, isn't it? There's probably most of us here that aren't getting 7 hours of uninterrupted sleep. So what we need to do is get you better sleep, better quality sleep, ideally more sleep, although it's not always possible if you've got young children, for example. But when you're asleep, if we get you better quality sleep, this is going to help you on your weight loss journey. So that's one of the things anyway that changes when you're sleep deprived is your stress hormones are higher, and as I've previously mentioned, that makes you more prone to putting on weight around your middle. Something else that happens when you're sleep deprived is your hunger hormones change. So you will have a greater appetite when you are sleep deprived, and so you're likely to eat more, and it's more difficult to kind of control your hunger. Also, you're going to be more prone to cravings because when your stress hormones are high, your blood sugars are more prone to becoming imbalanced, and when your blood sugars are imbalanced, you are very likely to have sweet and carby cravings. So as you can see, there's a lot that doesn't go in your favor when you are lacking sleep, so you really are on the back foot. So my favorite tips for improving your sleep quality is number one, and this is actually very apt because the sun has just come out. My favorite tip, number one, is to get out in the sun, or at least get some exposure to bright light first thing in the morning. Now, the reason why this is important is because when we are exposed to daylight, that helps to break down the melatonin in our brain. And melatonin is our sleep hormone. So when you break down that melatonin, it helps to regulate your sleep-wake cycle. So exposure to bright daylight in the morning helps you to basically feel more awake in the morning and to feel more sleepy in the evenings. So it might be on a day like today when the sun's just come out, it might be that you get outside in the morning, or you just make sure that you're exposed to some sort of bright light. It could be that you use one of the SAD lights or light therapy boxes which emit natural daylight. You can get them on Amazon. I'll link one in the comments, but these are really, really great if you use them properly. So there's loads of them about. Most of them aren't strong enough, and for a lot of them, a lot of people don't actually sit close enough to them, so you need to sit nice and closely to a nice strong light box. And these are helpful for when we've got loads and loads of gloomy days on the trot. I know for me, my sleep was really poor. We had a bit of a phase of gloomy days a few weeks back, and my sleep was really suffering, and so I got myself a light box and used that in the mornings, and it really, really helped me. So I'll link that in the comments. So that's number one, get some exposure to daylight as soon as you can in the morning. And it doesn't have to be for long. I mean, the longer the better, but if you can get a couple of minutes at the very least, then great. So that's number one. My second tip for better sleep, and this might sound kind of obvious, but it's to actually burn some energy, some physical energy. So it's well known that exercise improves sleep. And really the reason is just because you're burning up some energy. And I know for me, again, I sleep better when I've actually done some exercise. No, it doesn't have to be intensive exercise, but when I've just moved my body more, I sleep better because I'm just more tired. So that's quite a simple one. You don't need to go into that too much, but make sure you're moving your body if you're struggling with your sleep. The second thing, which you may have heard of before, the third thing is to try and avoid exposure to devices and blue light in the evenings. Really, at least an hour before bed, you shouldn't be looking at screens, and you should really be dimming down the lighting, the ceiling lighting or whatever, and really minimizing your exposure to artificial light. Because one is that when you're exposed to that artificial light, particularly the blue light that comes from devices, it actually blocks your production of melatonin. So you are kind of preventing your brain from going into sleep mode. So what's much better to do is things like reading, or it might be, hobbies like knitting or something like that, that helps you to wind down without just looking at a screen. The other reason why it's really important to avoid exposure to artificial light is because there's been studies on this now, and they've monitored people's blood sugar levels, and what they found is that after the sun's gone down, when people use devices, it actually increases your blood sugar levels, which, as we know, is not helpful when you're trying to lose weight. So this is something that I try to regularly remind people on my program about, is to try not to use your devices too much in the evenings, because it's actually increasing your blood sugar levels, plus it's disrupting your sleep, and they're two things you really don't want to do when you're trying to lose weight and balance your hormones. So ditch the devices in the evening. At the very least, make sure you use a blue light filter. You can also get glasses that have a blue light filter on as well. And then my final tip is actually a supplement that I'm going to recommend. Now, I don't often recommend supplements to the masses. It's quite difficult to recommend supplements to a big group of people, rather than doing it individualized. But this is one that is actually very helpful for the vast majority, and that is magnesium. So magnesium is a great supplement if you take a decent product, that is. Really, you want to go for a powdered magnesium citrate if you're going to take it orally. You can also get magnesium lotions. Epsom bath salts that you put in your bath are also a great option. These are all really good ways to get more magnesium. Magnesium is a very calming mineral. It's been shown to really help with sleep. It's a muscle relaxant. So if you're struggling with sleep because you're whether it's because your stress hormones are too high or whether it's because you're tense, magnesium will help with both of those. Again, another thing that I swear by, I find it really helpful. It's something that so many people are deficient in, because even though it's in most of the foods that we eat, it's in such tiny, tiny levels. And that's partly because the soil is very depleted of magnesium, or it's over-farmed, and the artificial fertilizers that are used really mean that we don't have anywhere near as much magnesium in the food as we used to. So magnesium is one that even when you've got a really good diet, you probably still haven't got enough magnesium. And things like coffee and alcohol and stress, they all really increase your demand for magnesium. Exercise as well, all those things increase your demand for magnesium. So magnesium is a good one to supplement to help you to get better sleep. So you might take it half an hour before going to bed to start helping you unwind, or you might have an Epsom salt bath, or you might rub in some lotion. So I'll drop links to a few products in the comments, because there's definitely good products and bad products out there. So I'll show you my favorites in the comments. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful, guys. Let me just see if I've got any questions. No, I think we're good. So I hope it's been helpful. Let me know if you've got any questions at all. Let me know your favorite sleep tips. If you didn't see the beginning of this video, then go back and watch it, because I talked through why this is so important for your weight management and hormone balance. And I will see you next week. Bye.